So let me say thank you again, yo, for joining. Great chilling, bro. Um, we've been doing a lot, on Instagram. We've been doing a lot with YouTube, X. We actually got clothing line coming out. The GC T-shirts, something nice and durable. We got all types of gear on the way. We connected in the community and stuff. We streaming. We gonna talk about that too once you do a 2K. You know what I mean? Because I got it. LB don't know. LB don't know that Wes Mac is one of the critical team members of the group. Like, he's a chaplain, and he's like they call him the Godfather. Actually, we call him the Godfather.
Wow.
So I'm glad the Godfather is here today. We was just
he is a man of wisdom.
We was just talking about, but great chilling, yo. It's basically a perspective lifestyle brand. Cause you fresh, you might be balding. Like I'm balding too, yo. Like, yeah, I got spots. Like I grew my hair out, and now I'm struggling to grow it back. But I still fresh though. That's the gray area, right? Like, how fresh can you be if you balding? Can you answer that? How fresh can any person be? Like, balding fresh? Because that dude that played for Auburn, he was fresh.
Yeah, it depends on how much you want to put into it. Like, if you don't put no effort into it, then it's gonna look like you ain't putting no effort into it, and all them bald spots are gonna show. So, but if you like me, you put a little bit enough to where nobody says, you might as well just cut it off. If you just put that much into it, then you can get by.
That's the classic line right there, yo. That is a classic line.
So if you get those comments over and over again, hey, yeah, you just look good bald. Don't save it. Don't save it. You just you have a good head shape.
All they gotta say is let it go.
If you or you should just let it go. If you get them comments, it's probably time, and you ain't gonna keep up with it. So you might
they don't even have to mention hair, yo. They don't even have to mention hair. They just dap you up and be like, yo, let it go.
Oh,
you already know.
Let it go. If you get that,
yo.
So I hadn't got that yet. I hadn't got that.
You good, Joe? Because you had to show us. You had to show us behind the scenes. So you fine, yo.
Yeah, you said it the best, yo. The effort. It's about the effort. Like, if you put that effort in, they're gonna know. So like that is a gray area, but like it can be very deliberate if you on one end if you just put the effort in.
Yeah,
but yo, what you think?
Mine, once it grows out,
was it lagging?
Oh no, I was gonna say once it grows out, then you can see that shit going south.
Nah, that's all good. Hey yo, so just letting you know it is a light lag. So I'm gonna find out about more about what you're doing out in El Paso, because when I was out there, the Wi-Fi was bugging too. But I need to know what's going on with the Wi-Fi in El Paso, Texas, yo. But yeah, yo, thanks for joining, yo. We're just breaking the ice. Hey, so
yeah, man.
North Carolina, growing up, yo. I know we talk about it a lot, yo, but what was that like?
North Carolina, I mean, it was cool. So Charlotte is like, at that point, like when I was growing up, it wasn't as big as it is now. So when I left, I graduated high school and went to college. Then that's when it started growing big time. Maybe when I was a little bit in high school, but it was a little bit I know everybody on the call been to El Paso, so it was a little bit like El Paso, but bigger, more built up, with sports teams and all that. So, I mean, Charlotte was, it was nice. You had mix between everybody. So you had black, I was going to high school. You had a bunch of like, Hispanic, and you had white, so good mix of everybody. So it was just like a typical city. But you're in high school, you don't really know like everything that Charlotte has. So, but yeah, man, North Carolina, it's like certain things, North Carolina things that you say Bojangles, Chillin, like stuff like that. That's like cookout. That's like North Carolina Central college basketball, ACC tournament. Like all that stuff is like that culture there. HBCUs, Johnson C. Smith, CIAA tournament. It's like you can say that to anybody who's from like Charlotte or the area, and they know exactly what you're talking about. So it was cool, man. It was like growing up it was typical, but you could see the start of like Charlotte like growing like crazy, and you could see why too. You could see why it would grow like that because it was like a good mix of everybody, culture, like banks blowing up all over the place. So yeah, you can see how it's gonna get big.
Sports wise, Mac, we know you for football, right? Dynamic player. Did you play any other sport growing up? Like, what were the big sports? So we all can think when we think Carolina, right? Basketball, right? Dude, and USC.
Right.
But what about football? Like, how did that look? Did you play football? Did you play youth baseball?
So yeah, I mean, I played all the sports growing up. So Little League, I was small, basketball. Like everybody plays basketball at some point in North Carolina. That's the big sport, right? Charlotte basketball. So yeah, everybody plays. So I played
baseball?
basketball when I was. So I played baseball all the way up until third grade, and then I played a little bit in high school tryout, but I didn't play all the games. So.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
So yeah, mainly.
Hey,
like,
what's your baseball game?
Yeah. I mean, I know how to play. Like, just get on base, pretty much. Get on base, run the base.
Didn't know that was a part of it.
Yeah.
No.
So I just hit the gaps.
Nah, yo, because now that I'm coaching it, right, I know a little more and I've been watching it. And then even the Braves, see, Wes Mac, I'm going to ask this question again, all right? But, because I expect a better answer, but he knows baseball. Because I want to talk baseball. I also want to talk wrestling. Because North Carolina has a rich background in wrestling. But baseball, now that I'm coaching it, and I know you follow the Atlanta Braves. Ozuna just had a walk-off home run against the Phillies. Ozuna's Ronald Acuna Jr. is coming back soon. I know you're tracking this stuff, right? And so when I look at these players, they're sluggers, right? Some of them are getting on base. Some of them are hitting about 500, like 300, right? Some have hit 300 because they just got to get on base. Some of them hitting 250 because they're getting home runs. You know what I'm saying? Was you striking out? Was you a constant hitter? Did you face against other kids pitching, or was it slow pitch? Tell me more about your little league experience. Who was coaching you? Why did you fall off from that? Because we need more black players. Like, you'd be crazy, yo. That Houston Astros dude, short dude. He play out there on second base, bro.
Altuve.
He just 5'5", just jacking. Altuve, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I mean, you start T-ball, then like slow pitch, and then like regular pitch. So and then I kind of stopped like a little bit after regular pitch, like a season after regular pitch. But and then I played high school, which is like crazy different, especially because there's a little like subsector like Charlotte that's like crazy in baseball too. Like you get to like some of the like wealthier schools and stuff, they like crazy at baseball. But so by high school, it's just like make contact pretty much, right? Because you don't know how to really read pitches, and you can't slug, so they just need your speed pretty much. But as far, and then I still had the fundamentals pretty much. But yeah, so I think that gap just prevented me from being anything else. And I mean, I can't really tell you why I stopped. Um, for a long time, I was just playing basketball, I guess. And then, with sports leagues, and that can get expensive. It's just you just stop and then you just play basketball. You just play out one sport, and then I didn't actually play football until either the seventh grade or the eighth grade. I can't remember which, but that's when I first started playing football. I never played organized football until I want to say the seventh grade,
That's late.
maybe eighth grade. I'm not sure. So I didn't play until seventh, eighth grade. I didn't play no pads, football. Just only football I played was just backyard, pretty much.
That's actually impressive.
So yeah,
to walk into tackle football.
He's like that dominant.
yeah.
That's
So what
impressive.
happened? So I don't know if y'all remember Chris Leak.
Yeah, Chris Lee.
Yeah,
Florida.
yeah, Chris Leak. So his dad ran a youth, the youth league, the big youth league in Charlotte, and one of the main place that they did the games was my middle school. So on the weekend, just me, my dad, my brother, we were just driving around. We saw him, and then my dad just drove up and was like, "Hey, these are my sons. They like to play," and he gave us the sign up thing, and that was it. So
Damn.
played, didn't know anything. They put me on the line. And then they had they have
Sounds
this
about right.
offensive line. That's why I played.
Yeah.
And then defensive line.
That's the go-to.
That's why I play.
And they don't know what to do with you. Get on the
Right.
line. Who's this kid? Put him on the line.
Left tackle.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
wild. Yo, Lamar's laughing because he's picturing you being your height in the middle of
Guard.
all these big kids.
Guard.
Running back.
That's how it
Left
was.
guard.
Yeah.
4 foot
It's like
tall,
this.
20 pounds.
6'2", 6'3", 5'3", 6'6".
Hey, you could be one of them rolling guards, that just block knees.
Yeah.
He was
That's
he
how
born
it
for the
was.
point.
And
He
then
was born
the
for the
thing
point.
is, bro, I'm what? So I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what position I was. I just knew oh, they said stay here. This play you do this. This play you go left. This play you go right. And that's it. That's the only thing I knew. And then I guess we were running, and then they were like, "Hey, try to run the ball." So I ran the ball. Still didn't know shit, but yeah, got the ball. And then the last game of the season, I scored a touchdown, and then that was it. I was
That was it.
back
Got
receiver
a scholarship
the whole
offer right
way.
there.
That was it. Yeah, well, I don't know
Touchdown.
about that.
Some
but
dude runs
yeah.
out the stands, yo. Hand him a Army football packet. Is that what happened, Mac, when you got
I
recruited?
was
Scored that touchdown, yo. Some dude ran out the stands, gave you an Army football packet.
That's crazy. How old were you again?
Man, I had to be 13, 12, 13.
Yeah, 13.
So I was
You said seventh, eighth
old,
grade.
but I didn't. Yeah, 7th, 8th grade.
So what you
So
think about think about the NBA today, or just sports leagues today, a lot of sport leagues today. I know everybody in our generation sometimes are critical of the play, especially NBA, right, where you got low management. NFL, lots of injuries, and it's a passing league, so it's less physical. baseball, like a lot, we're still trying to get. I'm just gonna be honest about it. Like we're still trying to get more black players into the league, like it used to be. You know, there's been a significant decline from 13 to 7% from back in the day until today. You know, because before Kenny Lofton, right, Ken Griffey, Kirby Puckett, you know what I mean? Like you go down the list, Mo Vaughn, like they all be out there, but now we don't see them as much. And I don't know how much of that contributes to youth sports, because I always retrace everything at the highest level down to the youth level. And that's why I was joking with you about baseball, because when I'm coaching, I think about actually coaching, not telling kids what to do. Like, go get the ball. No, I want to say, no, remember your two-step shuffle? Two-step shuffle and let that ball land in a bird's nest in your belly button. Because that will help you get over the ball, get to the ball instead of reaching for the ball. Because kids will keep reaching for the ball until they're like 9, 10 years old. They think they got it, but they're just two shuffles away from making this go to this. And I be thinking about your story though, where you were 13 and you just started playing a sport that you were like so good at though, like, you know, at the collegiate level, and could have tried out for a few teams professionally, in my opinion, and made the roster. So I'm like asking you, as someone that has reached the apex of your sport, like how would you approach youth sports or kids exploring like different sports today?
Man, that's a good question. Like, I think it's like generational, right? So, if you grew up, kind of where we grew up, it was like you had Ken Griffey, Frank Thomas, Barry Bonds, and then like Kenny Lofton. So that's who you looked up with, and so you just asked your mom, dad, "Hey, can I play baseball?" And then you had a few like some dudes in the neighborhood played baseball, coached baseball, stuff like that. So if you don't like it, happens over time. It's not like an instant thing. But so if you don't have that, and everybody wants to either do football or basketball, then I mean that's what you get. And I just think it's a little bit easier to, or it seems easier. That's like the perception to go to the league or go to college playing football or basketball, right? So I think that's kind of why they push them to the. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I just think, I mean, Lamar, y'all like no, y'all are educated, y'all know, but if you don't know nothing, like you just see, hey, old boy got his kid a scholarship playing football, right, at FAMU or Georgia Tech or A&T. That's what they're gonna do. But if you don't really see anybody getting like a baseball scholarship or a minor league deal, and then you have the minors and then all of that, and then baseball is just more of a patient game anyway, just more patient, then that's where that's where they get pushed. But I also think the thing about football and basketball is, at least football, I always felt this way, and it kind of happened with me, so it's kind of what I like to point out, is that you really don't know until like they reach puberty, like 13, 14. You just kind of get like guessing, oh, he might be fast, but you don't know how they're gonna grow. So like when people try to like, oh, my son's he's like dominant when he's at 9 in football, bro, he hasn't even reached puberty. He might not even grow. So there's like a lot of like players like in my shoes, because my high school was one of the best teams in the state. And there's a lot of guys who didn't play football. A lot of my teammates didn't play football until like late 2, because they just grew. They just grew a certain way. And then I seen a lot of good like a lot of my teammates in like Pop Warner and stuff. They didn't grow. They got discouraged. Everybody told them they were going to be great, and then they didn't grow. And they got discouraged, didn't want to play, and then nothing ever came out of it. So I think with sports, just enjoy sport, enjoy what you like. I think like kids are gonna gravitate towards football and basketball because that's what's on TV and that's just natural. But if you do what you like, soccer, whether it's soccer, baseball, football, basketball, um,
You think this is an appropriate age to start?
and I think you can start. I mean, you can start at any age. I don't think there's an appropriate age. I think you can start as young as 5, 6. But you just have to keep perspective. Like you
I
might be
do agree
good at
with
this.
you.
Good at that.
Yeah, I do. I was gonna say I
Yeah,
do agree
yeah,
with you. Yeah, because the baseball you gotta start early, because that hand-eye coordination and like you're talking about reading pitch, like
right.
finding your pitch and your swing mechanics is the hardest thing to do in sports because you have to learn how to control your back hip, your hands, how to get the knob to the ball. Tony Gwynn is another black player that we saw, and he's like the master of hitting. So I've been watching Tony Gwynn videos, the DVDs, reading a lot of his art. I've been seeing a lot of the way he's like, you gotta take the knob to the ball and through the ball, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to understand because the knob is coming and then the barrel's coming behind it, so that takes it out. So now we can do these drills, and I've been teaching my son that my team those drills that like you can't get when you're like 14, 15. You're trying to figure out how to get a 80 mile per hour ball coming and figure your mechanic. You can't do that. First of all, you can't do that. Then you got to have the arm
Right.
strength to throw it from somewhere, really from third to first, which is longer than what people think it is when you have to throw it accurate and quickly in a matter of like 2 seconds. And all that stuff
Yeah.
is like developed when at such a young age. It's hard to catch up. But football, I do agree. You can start a little later when their body is filled out, when they're committed to physicality, because they might be, like you said, they might be fast, but they ain't even trying to put the pads on.
I
Yeah,
gotta
exactly.
inject a little on that because I think a lot of sports you have to start early this day and age, right? Because I want to say I heard Wes Mac say, "Oh, the only time I played football was outside." Right? I think I heard him say he played football, right?
Yeah.
So he had a familiarity with
That's true.
football. He was developing a skill set each time he played outside, right? So even when you're talking mechanics with baseball, you could have a dude playing baseball in the neighborhood, like right. He's still developing something, right? And
But
then
see, that's
now
the
he's
problem though that he's
older.
saying, because the black neighborhoods ain't playing that much outside. It might be the,
You're
the Puerto Rican, the Hispanics, for sure.
But
Absolutely.
that's new in the day and age too, though, right? Because I can tell you now, ain't no kids out around here, yo, playing football like that. You might see
No,
them going out there playing drills, but they're not like how we were, where it's like you got the whole neighborhood tackling
11
each
on
other.
11.
You
Eight
you
on
got you
11
got
on
so
11.
many you got so many kids out there. You got kids on the side like I got next, right? That was a thing, a commercial thing back in the day was a slogan. I got next because that's what it was, and now you just see a few kids doing some stuff, right? If any. And I think that's the difference what holds back like trying to say, okay, kids this day and age can hop into a sport at 10 or 11, right? That's very risky because it's like, well, were they playing outside? Are they even versed to the game versus being like, you know what, now that I'm, 12, I want to try baseball. Now I want to try football. It's kind of like, I don't know if that's going to all the way work if you didn't have, some type of familiarity with the game. And I think too, the reason why I add that too is me and Lamar, we always chop it up on sports and mechanics. And how many players you see in the league sometimes where they got the craziest form. And you're like, yo, whether it's their 3-point shot, they over there bringing that joint. Sean Marion, y'all remember him? His joint was like, it looked like that, right? And you like, yo, this dude, you're not gonna tell me that coaches did not try to change that, right? Throughout their career, especially baseball, you see certain people where they hold the bat at the plate, and I'm like, yo, I don't even know how they swing the bat in time to hit the ball because of the way they're holding the bat in their form. But it's like, yo, they're in the league for a reason because they finesse that. And in my head, I like think like, yo, that probably was formed from prior to, right? To the I'm coming up in that youth ages, right? They probably were a late bloomer that's like, bro, I was killing it in the neighborhood. Like Lamar said, I'm out here in the neighborhood, I'm just getting it. This works for me. And then those are those coaches that are tight because they can't break their mechanics, but then they can't argue it, right? Because they like, yo, this dude hitting shit, been to the plate 5 times, 3 hits, like can't argue it. Like we gotta let him stick with his mechanics. And we see football quarterback, right? Lamar Jackson, you know what I'm saying? He had his mechanics things that people are like, hey, he whipping it, he's sidearm, but it's like, hey, he making it happen. What are you really gonna, say? You can try to hone it in, and I think a lot of quarterbacks do listen to that at that position. You can see them sometimes change their dynamics a little bit from year to year. But I think in baseball, I think they definitely keep what got them there a lot of times. In those type of individual sports where it's more a little individualistic, like even basketball for sure. You see all, like, especially left-handers, you just like, whoa, man, like, and they scoring buckets, right?
Left-handers special, yo. They special. That's special.
Yeah, just unorthodox. but yeah, that's why I caught with you, Mac, because I remember that too, man. Just running around the neighborhood playing with bigger kids and getting, you know what I'm saying, just pulled down. It was already rough, and that's probably allowed you to, like what you said is incredible, is you went straight into contact when you started playing football, when kids are already a certain size. Like, you talking 7th, 8th grade, you started at that age, and you're not that big of a guy, right? Because, like you said too, we always hear, like, my boy, he's like 6'4", so of course they are a little bit able to start a little later because of how big they are, right? So you're like, hey, get physical, hey, do this or that. They feel more confident because they're bigger on the team, right? But for you coming in at my height, essentially 5'7", first time, like, man, that's some good stuff, and get a scholarship at that. So yeah, kudos to you, man.
Yes. It's crazy because I have volunteered his son, because I think some people know I play football, college football. And his son, he's like, I want my son to play football, like, and they just asked me for advice. I'm just like, I know, I'm sure y'all get that too, but I'm just like, you just gotta embrace contact. Like, it's gonna happen. It's just part of the game, right? Like, you're not gonna get, you're gonna, I mean, for the most part, you're gonna live, so you just have to embrace. Like, that's the thing about football. If you embrace contact and you're tough, and then you just have like one skill, if you got good hands, or if you're quick and you like contact, then you can play pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to your point though, yeah, I remember all throughout like early middle school and elementary school at my grandma's house, like all the kids played one baseball game, bro. Like, it was like 20 kids out there. 20 kids, backyard, playing baseball, like a real game. Like, we used a tennis ball, not like one of those little aluminum bats, like cheap ones. And then a tennis ball. Yeah. And then, like, you didn't even have to have a glove. You could have had one, but yeah, man. That's just...
Yep.
So even if you play, and I know like some people play organized, but even if you didn't play organized, you was just always playing.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. Is like, because then you're just tweaking. Yeah.
But it does bring me to. So I got like a transition point if we want to, and I also have a point to this topic. So the point on this topic is like, it's very profound in a way, because back in the day we talked about. Like in Baltimore, bro, we be outside, just find a plot of land, and we gonna be playing football. Like, we play behind, everybody that played up in Baltimore, North Baltimore, know behind the apartments was where that shit went down. It was like, I was mossing people at the time, and then there was this dude on the street that was like a cover corner. You know what I'm saying? His name Kid. He was like, he was catching, he was a good receiver too, but it was like, I was actually a corner out there too. So I was mossing and I was locking down. And I took pride in both. And I remember he went out there one time, and I locked him down, Like, this shit was crazy. Pick six. Like, our team was, like, being outside, like those rivalries, and everybody. But, like, I was like you. I didn't even play till high school, you know what I'm saying? But all I know is, like, behind the apartments, You know what I'm saying? Like we was just playing out, and then
Right.
in the alleyways, playing basketball. Like I was like Vince Carter. My other dude was like Kobe, cause like I like Vince Carter. Vince Carter had a year where he was killing it, and he was threatening Kobe for the
Yeah,
crown.
yeah.
You know, Alvin Iverson was. That's when like we was outside. You know what I mean? But now we're not as outside though, because I think we've, as parents, like our generation, we've gotten to the point where like our kids don't have to be out there like that. Like I'm gonna send you to this training coach instead of like we're gonna go to this training coach from 6 to 8:30 instead of like you playing in the alley from whatever at the school or on the weekends. Like we're gonna go actually to this facility. So it's, but I miss those gatherings, the
That's the hard
family
balance.
baseball game, the family like. But where do you think this leads us to, like in this day and age? Is this a good thing that we're able to put our kids in some more concentrated training programs to upskill them at a different pace and find a different love, or are we like, where do we find, it's a gray area, right? Where do we find, or do we where do we find the grassroots kids, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, so I don't know. I don't really have kid and following sports like that. I just kind of go off of see, but it's kind of crazy now because you create like it's like inequality, right? Because you have like so you can do like you can put your kids in through a training program or with a trainer for 2.5 hours or whatever. But I mean, if you do that, you just take one less kid away from playing. And then if there's a few good kids who can do that, and then also, but kids who can't, I don't know which is better, but I do know like it kind of creates like a separation. So I think that's why you see like a lot of, or I mean, do y'all think it's why you see a lot of like, I know Steph Curry's a different situation, but like a lot of second, third generation stars in like the NBA, NFL,
Right.
like Deion Sanders can put his kids through all of this, but can such and such like I mean, so I do think
Right.
like you create
And,
kind of like a
yeah.
division. I think if you're talented, the biggest thing is like no matter what, if you're talented, especially in this day of age, like if you're talented, somebody's gonna find you, bro. If you're like one of them super, if you're like
Yeah.
LeBron or Miles Garrett, somebody like that, you're gonna get scooped up, right? Like at some point. So for them, I don't think it matters that much, but I don't know. Like I mean, that's a good question. I
Yeah.
think like it's more specialized and it kind of creates like a division. That's why you don't see a lot of blacks in like a lot of these sports. So
And
yeah,
I think like I think to add in Mac, it's just like and to what Lamar was saying. I think the big thing is like I was saying, right? Like, I feel like you're kind of forced to do it. Parents are forced to do that because of the lack of maybe outsideness in your area, right? Because it'd be different if, I came back home and Princeton, my son, is balling, right, with six other kids playing basketball, right? Because that was me. You know what I mean? Like I'm somewhere and we traveled neighborhoods. Like Lamar saying, he remember behind the apartments, we used to be like, we're in a whole different neighborhood going 5-on-5 playing basketball with other dudes we know, right, from other schools, like just going at it, right? When you don't have that going on, I think that's what leads to, hey, I gotta put him or her into some type of program, right, to get that training, to get that interaction, because even then you have the individual side, right, of training, but then you have also, okay, now they're actually in the youth sport where now that team element comes into play. So you actually have those two sides going too. But I think a lot of that is kind of more so forced this day and age because of that lack of that's going on for good, bad, and different. But because I didn't do that growing up. I played AAU, but it wasn't a lot of, oh yeah, we got to put LB into this individual training. Like that wasn't a big focus for a lot of our area in the Tidewater region. A lot of the movements in our region was more team centric. So it's like Lansdowne, our school, it's like, okay, what are you doing this summer? Oh, we're going to UNC. We actually went to UNC for 7-on-7 tournament, right? As a team, right? It wasn't individuals. It was as a team playing, obviously, against all the other schools that came down to UNC. Even for basketball, same thing. When I was in 7th, 8th grade, the high school that they thought I was going to, they went down to NC State as a team, right? So now we're team effort down there. We did individual drills, of course, during the week that we stayed there, and then, but obviously playing games where it's all team oriented, right? So, I think that because that was going on like heavily back then, and then you sprinkle in when LB's not doing any of that, he's outside doing stuff, playing, still getting the same reps, let's be honest, because that's all it is reps. When Lamar got home from practice and then he goes, playing, behind the apartments, that's extra reps. Like, he's still working on his feet work, skills and all that. And then he's taking it back to the actual formal game, right? So, but yeah, me and my other dude, we talk about the same thing. His kids are a little younger than mine, and he always just throws it out there, man. Like, ask all these questions about how my dude's doing, and if I have him in individual training versus, oh no, he's just doing team stuff right now. But I do think that I'm gonna do, pretty similar to Lamar here soon, and he's gonna start doing more, especially for baseball, like Lamar said and you said, mechanics is serious. So it's like you definitely, and it's more individualistic. Let's be honest. So it's like those mechanics, you gotta dig in. That's not going to usually get you somewhere playing outside without that extra coach tweaking, certain things with you. But yeah, yo, I love that talk right there all day.
Yeah, man. Hey, wrestling.
I think
that's a big part of. Oh, go ahead, bro. You had another thought?
Oh no, I think we touched on that topic. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
just know because we passionate about it, yo. That's what's important. But even with North Carolina, like, I'll be thinking about the wrestling background you have, yo. Tell me about your interest, your early interest in that.
So you mean the pro wrestling or the? So
just
well,
wrestling in
both,
general.
because I did I did amateur wrestling in high school. So and I was.
That's why you used to beat up Ion, yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
So that's the
Ion
thing,
used to
man.
always
Like,
wrestle, bruh. That's why. Now they all make sense, yo.
yeah.
Yo, see, we learn on
So I went to
Great
state,
Chillin,
man,
yo.
like-
We learn.
Yeah, I thought y'all knew that. Like, so I went to state for
I didn't
wrestling,
know
like
that.
amateur wrestling.
Man, this man.
Yeah,
Hey.
like, yeah, man. So that was like that. I'd probably say that and football were like my top two sports, really. You know what I'm saying? Because basketball, because my height, kind of. But
Hey, what was
so
your
yeah,
weight in wrestling?
amateur wrestling. Dude, man, with wrestling, it's kind of like boxing, but I would say like if you know how to do it and like do it well, I'm not like no expert or anything like that. Or it teaches you so much about body, and if you ever got into a real fight, you could at least like know something, how to shoot, how to control the wrist control, like all that type of stuff. But as far as like pro
You was
wrestling
fighting at
in
150?
Charlotte. So I fought at 145, 140, 145, and then like a little bit of like 152. So yeah, like 140, 145 maybe.
Mac always was heavy
Yeah,
though,
man.
man. Like, that's crazy.
That's a rock, bro.
I'm pretty sure Mac reached.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, yo, at the point. Did you ever reach 185?
No. I think the highest
I felt like
ever
you
reached
did.
was
I
like
felt like you
170.
did. 175. Okay, because they was trying to get me to 185, man. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, like me
I
and you
got
got
around
like the
70.
same kind of body
Yeah.
type, like
Yeah.
a kind of like a lean type, like Ion and all of them. Ion is like stocky, right? So
I was
yeah, it
huge,
was
man.
like I just like even right now I'm like 150. You
That's
know what I'm saying? I eat like shit, you know. So,
Now, what you weigh right now?
but yeah, but
I think he just said
yeah,
150.
so
Oh, you
yeah,
weigh
now
150 right now?
150 right now.
Dang,
Yeah,
you light, man.
Yeah, you gotta be careful,
yeah, I
bro.
know,
You don't
man. I
want to
don't know
get
what's going.
you don't
I
want to
don't
get
think it's
blown.
like a good thing. I gotta like go to the doctor or something. I don't know, but I mean, I think we all like, I had, not living right and shit. You know, it catches up, but
Mac over there got to be like, yeah, I got to
you know, what I'm
remind
talking
myself
about.
to
It's
eat
Lamar's
today.
fault.
Yeah,
It's Lamar's fault.
like bro, you
When we got back
no, it's
on the
not. Hey
plane,
yo,
yo, went to the Valero, yo. Know exactly what I'm talking
hey
about.
yo, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, that's what's funny though, because back in the day, when I was in the army, yo, I did smoke cigarettes for like people don't know this, but like I smoked cigarettes for about a year and a half because all the soldiers was doing it, and my NCO was doing it, and so like I would do it. Actually, this happened two separate years. Actually, it was 2 separate years. One year was when I was a platoon leader. I was smoking with my platoon sergeant, and then another time when I was a commander, I was smoking with my first sergeant. But I think because of that, I actually gained so much trust from the the um, the troops, the soldiers. You know what I mean? Like they started looking at me different. And mind you, the interesting stat about this whole thing, I said I was smoking, right? Bro, I never bought a cigarette. I always said, let me get one. They actually invited me to go. And then they were like,
To the smoke pit.
like it got to the point where like
Famous.
they would look to the pit. We would all walk over there together, do a pack of cigarettes, pull two out. We never even say anything, just like, yeah, man, it's a crazy day, man. And then there was times where I'd be like, come on, son, let's go light one, man. And like, I knew I didn't. I was coming home smelling like cigarette smoke. Like I didn't. So that's where the vapes came in to be like, all right, I'm doing the vape. I'm not doing that, right? And then but I knew eventually that this thing would turn off because I was so socially motivated to do it. Like, and I had purpose behind it, but I knew it wasn't going to be a forever thing because it was tied to that, which then went away. You know what I'm saying? And I got
Right.
different vices now, but haven't really been using them lately because of the whole physical challenge. But your vices, yo, you've kind of stayed with.
Yeah. So here's the
Man, I
thing,
can't
man. So I
picture
never
Wes Mac
smoked a
150.
cigarette. So like
Yeah,
the thing in my like, maybe in my life I've smoked maybe 3 cigarettes, 5 like at most. Like never smoked cigarettes. The Black Miles, right? Like so did that for a little bit,
Blacks.
but then I got deployed.
I know LB was.
Yeah, so it
I
was
started that at
blacks,
Mac's
and
house.
then came, yeah, and then came the vapes.
Mac and
So
them
it went from
stayed
like the
with them
blacks, like
joints.
you can't smoke blacks. Yeah, you can't smoke blacks like that. That's like crazy. People smell it. It's like
Well, now you
you
tell
can't do
me.
that forever. So like, yeah. So, but here's the thing. Like that's how the vapes came, right? So with the vapes, I mean, and all, I think that's almost as bad as cigarettes because you can do it as much as you want. Nobody will ever know. So it's like such a bad thing, but like because you can just do it way more, like not the stigma.
Indoors.
So yeah, it's a
Yeah, there's
terrible
not too
habit.
many policies.
Indoors,
I be seeing people
yeah,
driving.
not
They be smoking the vapes. It be like a whole smoke be coming out their car.
Yeah, I forgot what's that's called, Joe. Like It's like actually called something. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It looks wild. It's like
I
a
will say
dragon. It's
more
like
people do it, and
like oh.
more people do it than what you think. Like way more people do it than like what you think. But you don't like nobody would know. So, but yeah, so that's why I was like, so it's probably because of that, like a little bit because of that. But I was just always been lean. So I mean, I think that's like
You still hit the gym?
what it is too. Nah,
You still hit the gym, Mac?
No, like I mean, I got like a little. I don't know if you can see it, but I got my little workout stuff here, and then I got like a little treadmill joint. Yeah, it's not
it
nothing
even
to write home
unpacked?
about. Little walking pad,
Is it unpacked?
little walking pad. That's it. Yeah, that's all I need, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't go
Yeah,
to the
that's
gym.
somebody
I went
that's
to a
not
gym a
trying
little
to
while
hit the
with
gym.
my girl. Yeah, but no. Just
Which
hit
gym
some
y'all go to?
dumbbells. Planet Fitness. That's it.
It was the Planet Fitness
Just
joint
Planet
on Mesa.
Fitness.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't
on
stop
Mesa,
you
that
right there, Beanz. Hey, tell me about West Point, bro. Like, I was talking to Beanz the other day about the way we had to fold our clothes in the closet, like on SAMI inspections, where they come in the room and they be pulling out the drawers and they see that everything is folded the right way, the belt is shined in there the right way, the shoes is all the right way, the books was in the right way, like everything had to be right, yo. You know, I'm glad that Army's doing good. We got, you know, people going there still, because we need good leaders. The academy builds great leaders, but the stuff that we had to do there, I remember Coach K even said it, yo, I hate it every day. Sometimes, yo, every day felt like that to me, yo. I'm like, yo, I can't believe I'm doing this, yo. And that's just like one little instance. But I'm so glad I did that because it helped shape my life. I wouldn't be here, literally, I wouldn't be here talking to you, both of y'all, if I wasn't committed to going there and staying there. And not just playing sports, right? Like just being there and actually living that life. But what's that West Point experience feel like for you now that you've been so much post old grad for all these years? And you, like I said, you're the Godfather, you're the chaplain. You know, we were joking. We had a neighbor back in the day who was in the Army, and he had retired there. He stayed there. He got married. He had kids there. Watched him go to college. He still worked there. His name was Mr. King. I never forget him. And me and Wes Mac was in El Paso. I was like, yo, you about to be the Mr. King class of like 2056 in El Paso. You ain't leaving. So you've been out there for so long now too, yo. So tell me a little bit about your West Point experience and how that kind of feel you. Because if it weren't for that, yo, you wouldn't even be an EP either. So, but we can talk about EP whatever, you know what I mean, too, because that was epic. You that Godfather.
Yeah. So I mean, so West Point, man, I graduated what, 15 years ago, 16 years ago. So there's a lot, like, bruh, a lot of stuff I don't even. It's like little flashes of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, dog, I was focused on. So it was always kind of hard, like, so you know it's difficult, but I was more concerned about just trying to, do it, you know. So I really didn't even have time to question it a lot. I was just trying to.
And you went straight in, too. You
football.
didn't even go to prep school.
Yeah.
You
it
know,
was
you
direct.
wake up. Yeah, didn't go prep. So you just so I was just trying to go
You
to
ain't
class.
have no feeling of at
So
no
that
point.
was a big thing for me because I didn't go to prep.
But yeah.
Nah, you know, like yeah, so I mean, I guess West Point, man, I was just it's hard to say like going through the motions, but like I mean that's what I was doing. Just going through the motions. You say you wake up.
Did you ever
I've
have a
always
time
just
where
kind
you
of
thought
been
about
like,
leaving
all
though,
right,
Wes
man.
Mac?
No, not seriously. It's like, well, if I leave, what am I going to
Okay.
do? Like here, I get fed.
Okay.
I get to play football. I get fed. I got a job
So
when
you
I
put it into
graduate.
perspective.
I go
Yeah.
home and I like just hang out with like like so it's like what am I gonna do if I like go? Like I probably go to college somewhere, but like I have to find a college, find a school, do all that. I'm like
And
that's like you know what
and
fuck
I
it, I'm
and I
good
asked
here,
that question
it's just like
because I I asked that question because I think I had that. I definitely thought about that freshman year, and I'm pretty sure some of our peers did. Some of our peers actually left, right? And then you guys had like probably, I'll be honest, like probably one of the best recruiting classes, yo. Low key, that nobody even understands, right? When I say Caleb Campbell or Ali, right? These dudes didn't just get to the league. They were names, right? So like right now, if I told somebody, hey, name these people in the league that even from West Point, because they have been kicking out in the last few years, which is impressive. Kudos to them. They have been putting players in the league. But if I was to say certain names, people wouldn't even know, right? That they are even in the league, right? But your class, y'all had some studs for sure. And a lot of that was Coach Bobby Ross, right? Who he was. So, I'm sure I say all that to say like I'm pretty sure out of your class, some good players even probably left too or didn't commit that, me and Lamar aren't even aware of, right? So even out of the studs that that y'all had in your class that had league potential, talking about numerous people, because I'll never forget like when that was crazy. We operated like a normal college football program. We had NFL recruits at every practice. I'll never forget that. Like Atlanta Falcons dude walking around,
so
right? Talent scout. We had, of course, the
yes.
Giants, talent scouts, Eagles. Like that is the level we were at back then, even though we weren't winning games because of obvious reasons. And that's what I try to, I don't try to explain too hard to people that don't understand the full schematics of the game. But I did tell them for sure. I'm like, bro, we have NFL caliber players. Josh McNary, that was our class. But it's like all of us was on one team. You know what I mean? So it's
Oh,
crazy. So I
Mooney,
don't know if you remember
Mooney
that
went to the
dynamic.
NFL.
That's true. Yeah, and I didn't name
Yeah,
everybody. That's
so
what the thing. I named a
Mooney
few.
went to the NFL, played like NFL games, right? But the thing is,
Yep.
Yeah, he played with the Titans.
Mooney, we had another fullback, Tim Fry. He was from Charlotte. He started over Mooney.
Yep.
So he was ahead of Mooney. And Mooney, NFL fullback, but when he came in, he was below Tim Fry.
I remember that.
So,
Yeah.
and he was probably going like, so there you go. Like, yeah, you remember? Yeah. So I think Tim left after his sophomore year. So, like, yeah, so my freshman and sophomore year, Colin wasn't even he was third string. So it was
Starting
V,
back,
then
and then
Mooney,
somebody
or
else
V,
left.
then Fry, then Mooney.
Y'all had talent.
Yeah, and then Fry
And Vidi
left, and
even
then
had
Mooney
his
moved
stint of
up.
shot.
Yeah,
Vidi even got a shot too.
yeah.
It's
So,
crazy. It's crazy. Like y'all had a crazy class of pure talent that, and then some players even didn't
but
just
that's the
stop
thing,
playing
though.
because of how tough the school is. Some
Yeah.
players, I remember Tony Moore. I believe there were players that they were like, I have to graduate, and their grades might not have been the best, but they were even studs, right? So they're not even starting or playing because they like, I got to get these grades up so I can stay here and graduate. It's like crazy. It's crazy when
Yeah,
you think
Tony
back to
Moore.
that.
Tony
Yeah.
Moore, beast, bro,
LeBron
like
dudes.
beast. But that's the thing, man. Like we had good, not even as far as football talent, but like a good group. I think now I'm thinking about it, that's like another thing that helped. We had Tony Dace, Damian, Ion, y'all group. Mike Wright and Arlance and Carlo. So he just had like TJ. And then like a little above me, you had Trim and Duff and all of them. So I think we just had like a good like group of people like
And I
around
feel like
us.
y'all
The
all knew
coaches were
y'all role
cool.
too. Y'all
We
all knew
all
y'all
yeah,
role
we all
and
knew our
respected each other
role.
too, which I thought was tough.
But
I thought that was kind of
yeah,
dope
but
because usually on most teams, you know, you fight and stuff, and y'all didn't do that. Y'all was all cool with each other too.
yeah, so even when y'all came, y'all fit like right into like what we were doing. So I don't know what happened after I left. I only like heard, but I don't know like exactly, so I can't speak to that. But I know when y'all came, you and D. Trav Lamar, y'all whole group, y'all wild, but y'all just like fit right into like what we was doing. It's like, oh shit, here you go. Like, yeah, so yeah, man, we had
You
like
know
a
what's funny though?
good mix of like everybody, bro.
Yeah,
I feel like what's funny is that y'all was, really good at the game, but y'all was also like really good obviously at life to where y'all made it easy for us to come in and kind of follow. So when we came in, because I didn't even really get to know Mac until like our adult life, like when postgraduate, when we in El Paso. But as a
Yeah, I'll
person, especially
say,
trying to make a mark, yeah,
nah, we knew we used to hang out in West Point. I think, like,
I
right,
feel
like,
like
yeah, we
I
used
feel
to
like
because we played the same position.
But I feel like you was on another level and you knew it. You know what I'm saying? And I looked up to that. You feel me? So like,
Come
I
on,
looked up to
man.
that. I looked up to that swag. You know what I'm saying? That's why That's why I don't. We'll close out with some 2K dynamics in a minute if you want. But like I said, that's why we gotta have you on to that. To kind of talk these areas, bro, because you know you like the chaplain, the oracle. You like the oracle, but I always feel like if you like Lawrence Fishburne, I always felt like, Keanu Reeves, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like you were such a great mentor to fall into as far as your whole crew was like that. Arlance, we're going to try to get him on here too. Mike, all those guys were just like, because Beans was probably closer to like, the Jay Mitches and the TJs. Like he had his D-back mentors. I had the RBs and the receivers. You know what I mean? And then, but of course, all my guys was defense. So like all my off the field bros was all on defense. So it came with a different chip too, yo. Because that
it's
was,
true.
I felt like that dynamic wasn't as existent as whereas like offensive guys been hanging out with D. Like they the only dudes I hung out with was defense dudes. I didn't hang out with like yeah, I'd be like I hang out around Mills and them, but it was like when we was really chilling. You know what I'm saying? Great chilling. You know what I mean? Like we was just kicking it. Like and that's what was like different. You know what I mean? But y'all mentorship was something to fall in on. Yo, it felt like y'all was old heads designed to bring in like disruptors. Like
Yeah,
you know
Nah,
what I mean? Like,
nah, I get what you're saying, yo. Cause again, I will always
yeah.
tell anybody, is like if your class didn't exist, then I probably wouldn't have stayed and
right.
existed. Cause I mean, it's just a culture thing, right? So it's like it's cool
Yeah,
that we was able to relate to y'all like that. Like it was, and again, I got recruited. We happened to get recruited, so it must have been meant to be, right? By the same coaching dynamic, right? So the recruits did show that. That's probably why we were able to kind of fall into, in line a lot better with you all and sync with y'all. Because I can say that culture thing definitely, shifted for sure. And it was a different dynamic, right? So yeah, kudos to y'all, man. Y'all definitely help me be like, man, let me get to this stadium today. Like, I got to get up here. I got to stay up here. So that joint's fire, man.
yeah.
Yeah, Mac, real quick, yo, close it out, yo. Yo, we old heads now, and now you going in probably your what 37th year gaming. Probably you're still at the top of your game right now. You're top performer.
Around that
You're an
point,
ISO
yeah.
player. What is the goal? What is the ultimate goal here? Because I feel like the people that dropped off, I don't know if they understand if there's what big picture exists out there. But like, what is your overall big picture goal for gaming here?
With
Do you have a lot of
2K?
years left, or I mean, just in the gaming?
Yeah, bro.
2K,
Like, I mean, I don't ever. Let's put it like this. I don't ever want to even picture a point to where I don't game with the crew. It's like I can't foresee it not being like something I do, unless like something crazy I got deployed or like something like that.
yeah.
But that's just what we
I
do.
can't either. I'll be honest. I can't. I can't.
K24 comes.
I can't either because I can't remember
That's
one time.
K26.
Right.
I can't remember one time, yo. I can't remember one time that I walked into Mac's apartment, yo, and 2K wasn't paused, or on his TV screen, or Madden on his screen. Like, it was like some game was gonna be on that joint anytime you walked into the apartment, unless the Panthers were playing. Like, that's it. You gonna see the Panthers, or you gonna see NBA 2K pause, Joe, or his creative player just dribbling.
But yo, that was then. This is now, bro. Like gaming has just gotten so like so. 2K is a culture like into itself, right? Like there's a language. Like
Sorry, I don't know.
oh shit.
Lamar keeps me versed to that.
He's-
He definitely drops the culture
Oh,
with
you
me,
sell
like
it.
how,
You sell it.
nerves and
But-
moves be.
Selling.
Yo, that's
like
crazy.
you selling the game. Like everybody in 2K knows what that means. There's just like it has its own language. The 2K.
Yeah.
And
Like
It
what's
just has
the
its
other
own
one?
culture.
Purple belt or purple jacket, gold belt. Like
Black plate.
so,
Like
black plate.
you right. And if you go in that game chat, yo, it'd be some real people in there too. You know what I mean? Like cursing at each other, going crazy. Like pass the ball. You missed every
Going
shot. Pass
crazy.
the ball, man. Like just wild, yo. Like you can't even guard your man. Get off him. You can't even guard him. Somebody said that to me one time. I said, "You crazy, bro? You crazy? All these points have been off the fast breaks.
Like threatening
What
to
you
fight
talking
each
about?
other.
You taking bad shots? You're off the 12."
fight through the intercom. It's nothing better than fighting through an intercom.
But yeah, bro.
Yeah, man, it's
I don't plan on stopping either, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't plan on stopping at all. As long as I can play, I'm gonna keep playing, and I'm gonna continue to try to play at the highest level. You know, so means we gotta get you on, yo. We gotta have a 2K.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
I mean,
reunite, man. I'm
We
gonna have to
good.
reunite.
Like we're good this year.
Krista
As
can
far
show
as
you how
the
to play. I know your
game.
son know how.
Probably not 2K, but yeah, he'd be on there. He'd be gaming.
They be on
He'd
that
be gaming.
Fortnite. We got Fortnite stuff talking too. But that's our time today though, yo. But yo, we gotta do this again, bro, for sure. Facts. We gotta do this again. You gotta go to the El Paso
man.
library, yo. Plug into their internet box.
Speed.
Yeah,
that up.
man. I don't know, like what's going on. Like so, so I'm using this desktop, and it got like a lot of programs on it still running. It probably hasn't been like restarted, so I think that's might be what it is. So I don't know, though, man. But I appreciate y'all having me on.
It's all good, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
dog.
sure. Anything Beanz, yo, you good?
Nah, man, it was good to chop it up, man, with Mac.
Already, we gonna do it again soon, yo. Great chilling, man.